Hey, good morning, guys. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. And before we get started, if you'll just take a moment to read this quick legal notice. Basically says past performance is not indicative of future results, and trading futures is expensive. And you can lose all your investment, right? So you got to know what you're doing, and that's exactly the point of this video. What I want to show this morning is one of the difficulties with consistency is not following the same process over and over again, particularly when you're new, but even as you're experienced, right? The idea, if you'll read all the psychology books from Dr. Brett Steenbarger, Denise Schull, so on and so forth, that the key to it is being able to repeat the same entry over and over and over again and improve on that entry. And in that case, right, you can use things like market profile to help improve your entry. You can use things like anomalies, prior days low, prior days high, value area low. And that's all good, right? But one of the things that always bothered me about that is you can never push your win rate up into the 60, 70% rate simply by following that. And that's true because the win rates in those areas vary by volatility in the market, rotation size, things like this, right? Long side bias versus short side bias. So what I've strived to do with the algo that I've developed for myself and for members in the room is to set up a process that can be followed and repeated over and over again. Now, I have multiple processes, right? But when I'm bringing someone along as a trading coach or a mentor in the room, right, whether it's one-on-one or as a group, is, hey, let's focus on one entry you can replicate over and over again. Let's put the software on your desk, right? And then you can follow the entries, the exits, and the stops by executing properly, and then you determine the amount of leverage that you want to use in a trade, right? Now, I happen to like to use a lot of leverage, but that's not right for everybody, and it doesn't matter. The real question is that you have to answer first is, can you repeat the wins? So what I'm going to do here, and you can follow along with me, is I'm just going to start through the week, and I'm going to show the exact entry that I'm looking for on the algo. So we're just going to start on Monday, and I'm going to highlight it, right? So Monday started off as trend day up. So I'm going to show you the signal that I am looking for, right? So first of all, usually when, let's go to Monday. And we'll make this easy so I don't have to skip all over the place. We'll cut this down to the last 6 days. It should load relatively quickly. There we go. And when we put that all together, you can kind of see the whole week in a nutshell, right? We started off the week. Go back over here. This is Monday. Started off the week. Let's get this reset. And I'm going to do something here real quick. We're going to get rid of the waves, and we're going to get rid of the volume. That's additional tools, and we're just going to make that screen bigger. Those are additional tools that I use to determine which way I think the market's going to go. So all I'm trying to do here, what I would be trying to accomplish in this particular case is, how do I set up the week so that someone can make money consistently, right? That would be my goal. And I want to start it off at the very raw point, meaning I'm not going to highlight the prior day's high, the prior day's low. I'm just going to go and attack the signal by itself without trying to make any improvements on it, meaning trade location, time of day, that type of thing. And I'm going to cut off all our measurements at 10:30 in the morning. That's as far as I'm going to go. And these type of bars I'm using, most people are used to seeing 5-minute bars or 15-minute bars. These are range bars, and they only get completed by price. You can look up on Google, just Google range bars and trading, and there'll be abundant explanations. But the point is the market has to travel a certain amount of distance before a range bar is printed, and I feel it's a more accurate representation than bar by time, right? Because it shows me the actual movement in the market. So the setup that we are looking for, and you can see Monday was quite choppy. So I'm going to lay it out quite clearly. What it is, let me use the arrows. I'm looking for these red and white triangles down. So step one is to look for a red or white triangle, right? This is just on the execution part of the trade, right? I'm looking for a red triangle. And then the next thing I want is what I call a speed bar. And they're either blue for up or yellow for down. And for a yellow speed bar, I want an up triangle followed by a yellow bar. And for a blue speed bar, I want a down triangle. Remember, this is scalping at this point. we're not trying to hook up the whole move. We don't care where the market is going, right? We do not care where the market's going. We're not trying to swing trade this. It can turn into a swing trade. But for right now, all we're concerned about is how do we get money into the trading account, right? So we're just going to count what wins and what stops. So first of all, we're going to use, let me give you the parameters. We're going to use a 10-point stop. If you're trading if you are trading a mini contract, that is, and I'm just going through to find a blank page here so I can do the scratch accounting on it. If you're using a mini, right, an E-mini, that is $200 a contract. And if you are using a micro, that is $20 a contract, right? So let's start off our day. It's 8:30 in the morning. We're using an 8 range, which is my larger bar, right? And in the first hour in particular, it is important to know that the market can move so fast that you need a little bit larger bar to set up your trades. It also reduces some of the noise. So we start off the day, right? And the rules are, after I get the triangle, I want a blue bar or a yellow bar to appear within 2 bars after that triangle is printed. And by the way, the triangles print and they don't unprint, right? So it's not like a lot of technical indicators where you go along and you see the indicator print and then unprint itself. Once that triangle is printed, once that blue bar, speed bar is printed, it does not unprint, okay? It is not dependent on the next bar. So what you will see here, I'm going to use the triangle. Let's erase the lines. We're going to start our day on Monday. And we're only going to execute one strategy through this whole week. So here's our first triangle. Within 2 bars, we do not get a blue speed bar, nothing to do. Here's our next triangle, right? I'm just going along the line. Here's our yellow speed bar. We're going to use a sell stop to enter the trade. So you're usually going to enter within about a tick of this bar printing. So in this particular case, my entry comes at roughly 13,766. And I'm going to put a 76 stop on there. So clearly it doesn't get stopped out, right? My entry is 76. Now I'm going to use a measurement called a maximum favorable excursion, MFE. And that's what we are measuring here today, right? So my MFE on my first trade goes from 56 down to, let's just call it 21 for easy math. So 21 is 35 points to 56. So first trade out of the gate had a maximum favorable excursion of 35 points. That's times $20 a point. That's roughly $700 a contract on the first trade. Now, I'm not saying you held it for the whole move. I don't care how long you hold it. I may not even held it for the whole move, right? But that first trade had a maximum reward of $700. So we're just going to write maximum favorable excursion, trade 1 on Monday, $700 potential P&L if you did it perfectly, and no one does it perfectly, right? So maybe $400, $500, something like that, right? Next, we're coming down. We have our next triangle, so let's erase our work. Our next triangle, no speed bar, nothing to do. No triangle over here, so we're hunting. Triangle, no speed bar within 2 bars, we're now over here. Triangle, no speed bar. Triangle, speed bar. Now, I got to tell you, usually want this to come on the edge, but if you took this in the middle, let's say you were going to use this trade, right? And you said, okay, I'm going to take this trade in an attempt for continuation, right? To the downside, you take this trade, that's going to be a loss. So let's just count it as a loss. Trade number 2, right? 9 a.m. Maximum adverse excursion, which would have been your stop, you're going to lose $200. So your maximum favorable excursion was 700. Your maximum negative excursion is 200. We have a running total of positive 500 so far. Let's go to trade 3. We're going to keep moving along. We're just looking for the next triangle. Triangle, 1, 2, no speed bar. Triangle, 1, 2, speed bar, right? So if we took this speed bar, our maximum favorable excursion, if we did it perfectly, went from 31 to 31 to 39. That's approximately 8 points, plus 160 per contract, right? Plus 160 per contract. And again, I'm not making any adjustments. Like, for example, I would have liked to see it go under the swing. I'm just going through and doing this without any other technical work going into my thought process, right? So maximum favorable excursion 160. If you didn't take that, you probably lost $200, right? So down we roll. Here's our next triangle. Here's our next speed bar, right? So again, the key is staying consistent and taking your wins and your losses, right? Down triangle, our entry is going to be right here. We clearly never get the stop, right? So our maximum favorable excursion, right? So there's two ways to deal with this. You could either say, well, I'm going to trade this until I get my next short signal, right? Or I'm going to exit somewhere out. Let's just say that by the time this came up and rolled all the way up here and you got through all this noise, let's call this our maximum favorable excursion over here. Or heck, we can even cut it short. We'll just call it right over here. So erase lines. We're right here. This is our entry, right? And let's just say this was our maximum favorable excursion, because I don't want to paint the tape like, oh, it's all perfect. But that's still a run from roughly 13,720 to 13,743. 20 points, a little bit more. It's roughly $440 per contract, plus 440, right? So that now puts us at 500, 660. Let's just call it $1,000 for quick math per contract for the day. We're on trade 3, right? Let's keep going. Do we get any triangles? None of the triangles fit. Actually, let's make a correction here. If you took this, so there's some rules, and one of the rules are you want the triangle to appear on the squeeze to the high, but it doesn't always work that way, right? So let's see if we got tied down. I'm almost positive we did here. If we took this trade, since we're just going without any additional information, like, for example, if any of this is taking place inside the point of control, I probably took none of these trades, right? Because I don't trade at the prior day's point of control. But even with that, here we are at 10:02. If I took this trade here, let's see if we got stopped first. So my entry would be, I'm almost positive we did, 35 for a 45 stop. That's a loss of $200. So trade 4 minus $200, back to $800 per contract. Okay, and I'm trading it in a binary way, all on, all off. We come down. Again, I'm looking for a triangle and then so now I'm right here, right? And so you see how I can stay consistent? I'm looking for the same thing over and over again, right? And by the way, I'm not positive I would have taken this. This is right at 10:30, but let's assume I had taken it, right? If I take this blue, I'm right here. I'm on the triangle. Oops. Triangle, followed by the blue speed bar. So clearly I didn't get stopped out. Let's call this our maximum favorable excursion. So that's going to be my last trade of the day. It's 10:30 in the morning. So that's going to be an entry at 25, let's call it. And that's going to be an extension up to 65, 30 points. That's going to put me for trade 5 plus $600. And then per contract, if we trade it in a binary fashion, meaning no scales, no taking risk off, we end up with $1,400 per contract, and you're done at 10:30 in the morning. So let's go to Tuesday. I'm not going to even worry about the rest of the day. And I'm going to follow the exact same process, right? So if we look at Tuesday, first of all, we gapped up. On gap ups, we're always looking for the potential of a open drive higher or open drive lower, but we're not going to pay attention to any of that. We're just going to take the setups as they come along. And you can see here, we just didn't get any triangles on the 8 range that set up till right over here. And lo and behold, you had the high. Now I can tell you, I didn't take this trade, much to my regret, because I thought we were on trend day up. But we're going to count it in terms of our math, and we are going to go to Tuesday now. Tuesday. So since we're going to measure all the trades in the exact same way, remember, what I want is a process that's going to open me up to maximum reward and minimize my risk, how much I can lose. So first of all, did it meet my requirements for entry? I get the triangle up, and within 2 bars, I get a yellow speed bar. So the most I'm going to lose per contract on this is going to be $200 from this point. Now, let's look at this realistically. I wasn't thinking trend day down, and even at max, I'd still be thinking gap fill, right? So odds are I was pretty happy about right here. If I got this trade, and that's a trade from 13,910 to 13,822, just call it 90 points, right? That's almost $2,000. It's $1,800 a contract. So we're going to go trade one, 1,800. Notice that I'm actually cutting off the max P&L from that because odds are I didn't hold it past getting close to the gap fill, right? And then the next question would come is, along the way, did we get a trigger that would have reversed us or closed us out of our position? So triangle, no speed bar. Triangle, no speed bar within 2 bars, right? Again, triangle, no speed bar. Triangle, no speed bar. So if I rode this all the way down till I got triangle speed bar, I'd actually end up long and closing out the position right on this bar here, right at 13,822, right? So hypothetically, you could have caught the 100-point roll for $2,000, and we've certainly done that in the room multiple times, right? So erase the lines. So that's trade one. You're now over here at 9:33 a.m. This is your next trade, triangle, speed bar up, right? Again, the software, when you become a member of the room, and you pay for the software. So by the way, I don't mind telling you how much it is. It's $200 a month, right? If you want to be in the room and not pay the software, it's $99 a month, right? But it's easier for you to execute your trades and your processes on different markets when you have the software on your desktop, right? So if you look over here, let's just keep going with the math. My stop's going to be $200. My entry is going to be right here at 13,816. And my maximum favorable excursion, so you're going to go from 17 to 37, 20 points, all right? Trade 2 plus $400. And again, I understand that's if you did it perfectly. I'm not under the delusion that anyone is going to nail these trades perfectly, right? Including myself. I don't even try to do that, right? I look at it, I determine where it can go, I look at the type of day we're in, and that's how I make my trading decisions, right? Sometimes I can look at the chart and go, this is probably good for 50 points back to the mid. Sometimes I look at my chart and go, we're going to retest an area down below. But I'm not doing that here. All I'm trying to show is the ability. The first thing you got to figure out if you're trading is, can you get to profitability? And that's what this is doing for you, is getting you to profitability a high percentage of the time. Then as you grow your experience, you get better and better at pushing those extensions, right? But first, the first question you should ask is, can I get to 20? If my risk is 10, can I get to 20? Can you get a 2-to-1 RR? Because if you have a 2-to-1 RR, all you need is a 50% win rate, right? I want to say that again. If you get to 2-to-1 RR, all you need is a 50% win rate. Next, you come through. None of these trades are meeting our requirement, right? So we're going to scoot over. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's scoot back a little bit. And our next trade again comes right on London close. You'll see here at 10:30 Central Time, triangle down, speed bar. So again, I'm going to highlight it with the arrow. Triangle down, blue speed bar. My maximum favorable excursion here, we're just going to draw it right up here because I'm going to want to go to lunch. It's already 11 o'clock. So I'm probably all out right there at the latest, 13,807. So that puts my entry right here at 53. So 53 to 07 is 50 points. Third trade of the day, it's $1,000. So for Tuesday, per contract, $2,800, $3,100. Again, if you're just doing a fraction of that, you're doing pretty good. And again, this is particularly for the people who are newer in the room, right? When you first join, this is what I want you to focus on. Why? Because I'm highly confident this will give you the opportunity to get to profitability I can't get you to profitability, I can't teach you anything else as a trading coach, right? You'll see a lot of trading coaches will dismiss themselves. They're like, well, it's not my job to get your profitability. It's to help you manage your emotions. I think it's everything. I think it's a process and management of emotion at the same time, right? And it takes time to train your brain to take it, right? So you have to watch it for a little bit. So if you're going through, let's go to Wednesday because our day's over. 10:30 a.m. Go enjoy the rest of your day. One talks about a trader lifestyle. That is a trader lifestyle. Here's Wednesday. So we gap up again, right? So again, I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to trade because of X. Well, no, that's not correct. The gap up or gap down, I'm trying to get out of trying to read or predict what the market's going to do and just let the process tell me what to do. So here we are on Wednesday. We open up, it's a gap up, no signal, right? Now, if you took this for continuation right here, I'm going to call this a loss. It never got an extension. If you took that entry right there, let's say you started the day off with a 10-point loss, right? So that's 880 to 70, and I'm going to count that as a loss. So trade one, minus $200 a contract. And again, trading the first 10 minutes of the day is the hardest time of the day to trade, in my opinion. But I trade it, or at least I trade it sometimes, so follow the process if you're going to do it. Trade two comes right after you took the stop. That's hard on people sometimes, but that's the next setup. This is your triangle down. This is your speed bar, right? Your entry's here at roughly, let's call it 72. Your maximum favorable excursion on that trade was 72 to 89. Let's say that's 17 points, 18 points. That's 200, 160, 360. So trade two, you're plus 360 a contract. So we have a running total of plus $160 at this point. Now we're looking again. It rolls down. Again, I'm not assuming you're doing any of this perfectly, right? My main target would be to get a 2-to-1 RR. So I know that I'm maintaining a high win rate. I know if I have a 2-to-1 RR, it keeps me on the positive side of the balance sheet. Again, the point is to get you to the point where you're making money so I can teach you other tricks, right, to make more money along the way. Trade three, triangle down, speed bar. That's my entry, 67. My maximum favorable excursion was 13,903. So from 67 to 03, that's 33, 36 points. Let's just call it $600. Now you're at $760 for the day per contract. Note that it's 8:49 a.m., right? It's 8:49 a.m. Keep going. No setup on top. There's your triangle. There's your speed bar right here. So if you're wondering how I put up those high numbers, I'm showing you how I put up those high numbers. The algo is doing the work for me. I know that triangle down gives me a lot of important information. This algo is telling me that sellers are trapped here if we get above them. That's what that's telling me. The speed bar is telling me that they're reversing the market very quickly and hitting all the asks. Okay? So that's how I'm doing this. So in this case, my entry, let's just call it 51 to 79. Again, I've hit my 2-to-1 RR and my 10-point stop. That's almost 30 points. Let's just call it 30 again. Trade four, $600. Now you're at, I'm horrible at doing raw mathematics. I need my daughter's help on this. But let's say it's 703,000. Let's call it 1360. That's our running total for the day. Right here. You can stop. It's 9 a.m. You've made 1360 per contract. Right? And again, I'm not making it up. This is how, come in the room, send me an email, ask for a tryout to the room. You'll see it upload in real time. Right? You'll see it upload in real time. Just come over here. No setup, no setup. This, I would probably take this realistically, and I end up with a loss. Right? So that's going to be, so I want to show you that. I got my triangle down right here. I got my blue speed bar. I take it. That's minus 10. It's a no-brainer. So trade 5 minus 200. I'm back to 1160 for the day. I'm going to keep going. No signal. Okay, stop. So see how I'm going to start scooting this over bar by bar. So all you will see is this. I'm probably going to short that if I see this trade right here. Triangle up, speed bar. So my entry is going to be, if we're just doing it blindly, we're not putting any additional work to location or anything else. It's 13,854. Let's see what happens next. Okay, so if you look here, if I entered here 13,854, my maximum favorable excursion is 13,843. I chained 10 points, but I didn't get 20 points to the downside. Now I want to point something out. Now that I look at it, I probably don't take this because the reason why is there's a head and shoulder over here, but that's getting things more complex. Let's call that a loss, right? Because I got a feeling it's going to close behind my entry. We'll see in just a second. Or maybe not. Let's find out if that did or didn't. The entry was at 54. It would have been a 64 stop. Yes, let's call it minus 200. Trade 6. Second trade minus 200. I'm now back to $960 a contract P&L on the day. Let's keep going. But by the way, actually, let's adapt here. I would have taken this stop here and got immediately triggered into another short. So my next trade entry, because you got to realize it's triangle. I'm trying to do this as mechanically as possible, right? So I'm going to end up being short here, 13,859, right? And I'm going to get a push down here to 13,865. And I can tell you right now, in real time in the room, I didn't take any of this because I'm going to be working this right shoulder for a head and shoulder reversal for all that matters. But we're going to go through and just do the numbers if you didn't have that knowledge or understanding. So you would have gotten an 859 entry. It rolled down to 36. That's 59, 49, 39. Gave you 20 points, 1-to-1. So let's call trade 7 plus 400. Pretty active day already. And you're sitting at 1360 for the day. Okay. Now, again, if you took that short, let's just run it with the numbers, right? So the short entry would be here. Stop's going to be 10 points. I'm pretty sure I get stopped. It's stopped, right? So let's call trade 8 minus $200. I'm at 1160 for the day. And let's keep going. That's a short again. And that gave me a maximum favorable excursion. Let's see, let's call that 58. It did not give me 20 points, right? So now we got to decide whether we took it or not. Let's go see. Now give me my 20 points. So let's see where that went. Triangle down. Let's just say this is our maximum excursion was 20 points, right? Go back plus 400. Now we are at 1560 for the day, and we are at 10:30 in the morning. So day over, right? So far we're to Wednesday, and if you followed this process blindly, exactly like I'm presenting it, I didn't change the numbers, I didn't alter it. The algo told me where to look. I took the trades and I took the losses as they came along, right? And so for the 3-day total per contract, and yes, this is a little skewed because no one's going to nail it perfectly, right? But it's 1,400 day 1, 3,100 day 2 per contract, right? And 1,560 day 3. So that's 31, 41, 46, 56, $6,000 per contract by Wednesday. Let's keep rolling through it. Let's go to Thursday morning. We are not at Thursday yet. Now we are. So number one, here's the beginning of the day. And we obviously went trend day up. There's triangle. Actually, if you look at the beginning of the day, it went triangle, yellow bar. Let's see if it gave us 20 points. Entry would have been 22, right? And it went to 13,800 for 20 points. So let's call trade one plus $400. No entry long. Now, this is where everyone's like, well, I wanted to be long. Well, signal didn't set up, and that's the downside of following a signal. I'm not reading the market. I'm following the signal, right? Triangle, 2 bars later, blue speed bar. That's my entry. Right there. Again, I'm not thinking. I'm following. So let's call this our maximum favorable excursion. No other short set up along the way, right? So that was an entry at 13,900 to 13,952. Let's call trade 2 plus 50, $2,000. So we're at 2,400 for the day. No entry, no entry. Entry long right over here. Question is, did you get your 2 to 1 looking for continuation? Right? So if we don't get 2 to 1, we're going to count it as a loss. Okay? So entry was 25. Let's erase the lines. All right? So I can already tell you it looks like we didn't get it. Let's see, it's 25. I needed 45. Let's count that as a $200 loss. Right? Nor did I set up short along the way. Okay? So trade 3 minus 200. I'm down to 2,200 on the day. Okay, I'm going to follow the bouncing ball. Nothing sets up down here. Obviously, they eviscerated a lot of people. Notice you're not getting long, nor are you in danger of getting killed in this particular market. Triangle down. 2 bars later, speed bar. The X is another algo. Let's not worry about that right now. Entry, 13,824. We clearly get our 20 points out of that, right? We clearly don't have another short signal set up for us, right? Even if you exited right over here, you get another long signal right here. And let's just say that I would not have expected this to go back to the high, even if I expected a bounce. So this is one of the ways where we improve our trade. I would have come over here and gone, okay, where's the 50 retrace on this trade? So realistically, I'm trying to hit from this entry down here at 24. I'm going to try to hit between this 88 to 13,900. Let's just call it 50 points plus $1,000. So trade 2, trade 4, excuse me, plus 1,000. So that puts me at 3,200 for the day. And now I'm looking for my next trade, right? So we get to 10:30, no trade entry. You might have taken, well, no, it's after 10:30. We're done. So for Thursday, you end up with $3,200 per contract, and certainly your 2 to 1 RR covered you, right? And let's say you took every trade out at a 2 to 1 RR, meaning you took 20 points every time. The way that day broke down is you went 400, 400, minus 200. So you're at 800, minus 200, 600, plus 400, right? So it's 400, 400, which left you minus 200, which left you at plus 600, plus another 400, put you at $1,000 per car. And that's right, because I know my critics are going to go, but no one closes it out perfectly. And that's true. No one does, right? But if you took a 2 to 1 RR over there, you can see the win rate is pretty damn high, particularly in that first 2 hours. So let's go to Friday morning. And we already know, because I posted my numbers, Friday was pretty good. And the next question is going to be like, well, Simon, you had some down days in between there this week. You didn't trade it perfectly. That's true. I didn't trade it perfectly this week. But you also got to remember, I personally am probably trading 5 or 6 strategies simultaneously. That's not my goal here to get you traded 5 or 6. Mine's to get you to trade the one that'll get you consistently profitable. That's my job as your coach, and then help you improve from there, right? So now we come over here, Friday morning. Trade number one, right here. That's trade number one, right? We know that it didn't stop, right? It went 13,940, and our maximum favorable excursion. Let's see if we got the 20 points first. Let's go to 60, and you got the 60 without getting stopped out. And let's say that was the first day of the trade. It's pretty choppy. Let's just start the day off with a plus 400. This is Friday. Trade one, plus 400. Okay, let's keep going. So I'm looking for my signals. I'm not getting any in here. Actually, I take it back. I would have gotten long here, but I was trying to get to the plus 20 to begin with. All right, let's take it bar by bar. Oh, there would be my short. So let's see if I made money or lost money. So let's just call it 69. My stop's going to be 79. I get my 20 points. So from 69, I needed 49. Not yet. I haven't triggered a different trade yet. And I got my 49 right here. Let's just call that 2-1. And by almost getting stopped up here, I'd have been very happy to take that 20 points. I can tell you I would have taken that. So trade number two, plus 400. I'm at $800 for the day. All right, let's keep going. No trade. Stop. That's a long right there at 955. So my entry would be 45, 35 stops me. So I get my 10 points. Pretty sure I'm about, stopped. So trade three, minus 200. I am now plus 600 on the day. And that's my day because I don't have any other entries. That'll make it work for me, right? 1030 is done. Friday, plus $600 a car. Okay, so what I'm trying to demonstrate in the room by using that small account, by demonstrating in the algo how you can follow a process over and over and over again without complicating it, is how do you make money consistently? There's more trades in this algo than what I'm discussing here. But my goal as a coach is to get you trading profitably, right? That's my goal as a coach. I'm going to say it again, to get you trading profitably. Once I can get you trading profitably, I can teach you more trades as we move along and you can make more money, right? So my name is Simon. I'm a TRADEnPERFORM coaching. If you have any questions, would you like a pass to the room? TRADENPERFORM at gmail.com for the week, right? If everything was done perfectly, right? You ended up with, let's see, 38. Let's see, 38. Wednesday, you would have ended up with a lotta. 38, 48, 53, 83, 86. Almost $10,000 a contract, right? And then if you didn't like how I did that, just count all those trades, go back and take off all that money and just do $400 wins, $200 losses. Pretty easy. You're targeting 20, you're taking out 10, right? That's to adjust for my critics. They're like, well, you're never going to do it perfect. Well, that's totally true. Notice I didn't look at a chart here. I didn't look at where prior day's high or prior day's low were. No adjusting for head and shoulders. Not thinking about the market at all, and not trading past 10:30 in the morning. If you'd like to learn how to get profitable, contact me. Simon, TRADEnPERFORM Coaching at gmail.com. Have a great day, guys. Talk to y'all later.